Hello, welcome to White Space, the high-tech show where we print out bits of our website and read them to you. This week we welcome back Bill Boyle.
I can read through tables. Well, I'm Peter, Max. It's good to be back.
It's good to have you.
Yeah, it was a very interesting week, or 4 days in Silicon Valley. The IT press tour it's called. So Philippe, who runs the IT press tour, thank you very much. It was a fascinating 4 days. 12 high-tech companies. What do I say about it? I mean, I'll be writing about every single one of them because every single briefing was interesting, but it might take me a few weeks to do that. If I drew any conclusions from the whole 4-day trip, it would be there's some fascinating things happening in software-defined storage particularly, and where the real innovation is taking place is in linking new flash memory, or increasing amounts of flash memory, with public clouds. And at least three of the companies were developing technology which utilizes public cloud in a really interesting way, so that the hybrid cloud model is really beginning to take effect. And at least one of the companies was saying that they're almost on the verge of signing up a bank for this type of technology. Now, previously banks would never ever touch that. It was in-store, it was in-house, it was behind wall, it was on-premise. That's changing.
So lots of new ways of doing storage between the cloud and devices. Lots of flash. And you went to a petting zoo, I heard.
What?
Yes.
I haven't heard this.
Micron, you did. It's in the next magazine, Petting Zoo, Micron's Petting Zoo is a place where two very, very nice engineers develop really fantastic flash memory. And they showed it as one of the inhabitants of the petting zoo. Mm-hmm. And you'll be very surprised to find out what this inhabitant looks like. But hey, we'll wait for the next issue.
Yes, the next paper issue won't look like this. That's coming up. Mm-hmm. Okay, Max, we were talking about recycling buildings last week. And you heard of a really good one this week, I think.
Yes. It's a company called Ibram Networks. It's basically Israeli money, but Finnish management. And they're building a data center into an old military bunker, as is popular these days. And yeah, it's just this particular bunker is very, very interesting. It was built in the 30s for...
Whereabouts?
In Tampere, Finland.
Wow.
Yes. And for the state sort of monopoly technology company to produce planes underground. And after Finns sort of like signed the Moscow Agreement and essentially like stopped going to war with Russians, they needed to pay out some reparations. So from then on, for several years, they were making stuff for Russians there. And then it was abandoned for about 50 years. And now they are bringing it back. And the leadership of the town of Tampere is very, very excited because yeah, they just had these caves, you know, just sitting there not doing much, and now this place is going to have renewable power, it's going to export waste heat, and it's underground, which I guess makes it super secure if you're into that sort of thing.
One thing puzzles me, Max. Why on earth would you want to build a data center underground?
Aha, I can help here. There are various reasons, but one of them, which we've had an article about this week from our writer Michael Kastner, is protection from electromagnetic pulse attacks. We've yet to hear of any of these definitely happening in the real world, but they're theoretically possible, and Michael spoke to a company that makes a device the size of a suitcase that produces an electric field of 100,000 volts per meter, which,
wow,
if you're reasonably close to a data center, you could actually turn the whole thing off from the outside.
Is that sort of like a taser for data centers?
Something along those lines.
That's a frightening concept. I mean, and people are making them, and we can buy them.
Apparently, yes.
Wow,
Ooh.
that's astonishing.
And the theory goes that an attacker will do this to you one day. You have no idea what's happened to your data center, and again the next day, and then send you a ransom note.
Right.
So sort of like the way people do with DDoS now, this is a sort of the next step.
Yeah.
And is there any defense?
Build your data centers underground. make sure that, or at least,
Absolutely.
you know, it goes back to the physical protection that we've heard about in some webinars on our site. If you can keep people away from your site with a fence, then only a really powerful electromagnetic pulse will be big enough to reach the data center.
That's interesting.
So it's a very old school solution for a new problem.
Yeah, well, it just shows that physical security is just still as important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right.
Meanwhile, this week I've met the new CEO of NTT Coms, the global CEO. His name is Tetsuya Shoji, and he's a very interesting man. He loves Formula One. He's been working for NTT for the past, oh God, it's like 38 years.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's sort of a regular Japanese salaryman, you know, like he worked hard, he got to the top, and the man has big plans for the company. They're gonna be growing, and they're gonna be growing really, really quick. I mean, this year alone, they're pretty much increasing their data center estate by a third. And there's going to be new facilities in Spain, in China, and in India. There is a new data center being built in the UK. It hasn't been finished yet, a little bit delayed, but still. And I think they're looking at Indonesia next. They're gonna acquire a company in Indonesia, and they're kind of keeping it under wraps. But I think with a little bit of digging and the help of our wonderful Paul Ma, we'll figure out who it is.
And starting from Japan is a good thing, because Japan is pretty much the leader of the Asian data center market.
Yes, as we found out this week, it's responsible for more than a third of total data center space in Asia, which is very, very interesting.
For a small country of 30 million people.
Yeah. And another thing is their USB keys look like this. It's just a lovely little thing, yes.
Right. Good. Okay. And staying in Asia, big news from India this week. Amazon is going to expand Amazon Web Services into India next year, making it a new infrastructure region. That will mean new data centers, not sure how many, how big exactly, but that's big news for India because, again, we discovered there is really not a lot of data center infrastructure in India at the moment. Everybody here in Europe is talking about having data sovereignty and getting data into your own country. In India at the moment, they're still, where possible, exporting it because the data centers there have poor reliability. The power structure isn't that good. They have rolling brownouts, that kind of thing. So for Amazon to be moving into India is a vote of confidence. Yeah. And it's not the only data center news from India this week. There's a company called NextGen who is building a data center in Bengaluru, which for those of you who don't keep up with Indian city names is the new name for Bangalore. When I say new, at least 10 years. In fact, well, older than that. It's the original name, shall we say, that has been re-established. Bengaluru, the third largest city in India, will have a new... it's got a data centre and it's being expanded with investment from Intel Capital and a couple of other people. And the third one is a government-backed data centre park, indoor. Yes, I'm sure you would hope that all data centres will be indoor, but this is in the city.
This is in indoor.
Yes, so another thing that happened this week is the OpenDaylight project has released the third version of the platform, and the interesting thing about that is they follow the periodic table. So the first one was hydrogen, then they had helium, and now they've released lithium, and basically we did a bit of a small calculation, and we figured out that version 33, released in 15 years, is going to be called arsenic.
And sometime after that they get to cyanide.
Yes. So hopefully in 15 years they're going to change the naming convention, but who knows?
Yes. Hang on. and Tom Lehrer will be recording their company anthem.
Tom Lehrer?
Tom
Lehrer. There's antimony, arsenic, aluminium, selenium, hydrogen, and oxygen, and nitrogen, and uranium.
I think this is where we say goodbye.
Neptunium, uranium.
As Peter sings us out.